All right, let's dive into a real estate market that, well, it seems to defy all logic. Israel's. We're going to get right into it.
You know, this quote really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of this whole paradox. You've got ongoing conflict, economic uncertainty, and yet the housing market is just on an absolute tear. So what is really going on here?
And look at this. This number right here just perfectly illustrates what we're talking about. 5.1%. That's how much home prices have climbed across Israel in just the last year. I mean, it's a statistic that just seems completely counterintuitive, right? And that's the mystery we're really going to try and unravel today.
Okay, so to really get a feel for this market, let's start where it all begins, on the ground floor. I'm talking about the actual boots-on-the-ground experience of just trying to find a place to live. And believe me, for so many people, it is an absolute battle.
Yeah, exhausting just captures the feeling so perfectly. And we're not just talking about the sticker shock from the prices, okay? The search itself is like this marathon of frustration that can wear down even the most determined, optimistic buyers out there.
So what makes it so exhausting? Well, for starters, you're constantly running into these listings that are already gone, or you find ads with just terrible, blurry photos, or half the details are missing. And then, for so many international buyers, you've got these huge language barriers to deal with. It just all adds up, It makes an already super stressful process that much harder.
So, in response to all this chaos, the market is finally starting to adapt. We're starting to see these curated platforms pop up that actually pre-vet every single listing, they offer translations, and they give you direct contact info for the owners. It's a real attempt to bring some kind of order to the madness. But look, even with a much better search experience, you still have to face the cold, hard financial reality.
Okay, so we've established the search is tough. Really tough. But what happens when you actually start looking at the price tags? Well, that's when the numbers start to tell a truly, and I mean truly, shocking story.
This line just captures the stark reality perfectly. It's like the security situation has had zero cooling effect on this relentless upward climb of property values. It's unbelievable. And here's where it gets really weird. This is the core contradiction. Prices are rising, right? But the actual number of deals getting done, it's falling off a cliff. New home sales have plummeted, down 28% from last year. So you've got these sky-high prices, you've got this intense demand, but fewer and fewer people are actually able to close the deal. How does that even work?
Look, it's one thing for me to sit here and throw percentages at you, but what do these crazy high prices actually look like on the ground? Like, what does $1 million price tag actually get you? Let's take a look at some recent sales.
And wow, the numbers are just staggering. A modest 3-bedroom in Tel Aviv, and we're not even talking a prime downtown spot here. It recently sold for $1.2 million. A 2-bedroom in Jerusalem, yeah, over $1 million. Even in Haifa, a 4-bedroom apartment is fetching nearly $800,000. Come on, these are prices that are competing with major global capitals like London or New York. So this creates this huge dilemma, right? Because with interest rates so high, the average monthly mortgage payment is now 30% more expensive than the average rent. So what does that do? It forces more and more people into an already crazy competitive rental market. But here's the kicker. It also means that for those people who can still buy, we're talking foreign investors, people getting help from family, the competition for the few properties available is just fierce. And that's what keeps those prices sky high.
Okay, but while the average person is out there grappling with this tough reality, there is a completely different real estate universe operating on another level entirely. Let's step into the world of Israeli luxury. This is really a tale of two markets, no question about it. Because for a certain class of buyer, both from inside Israel and from abroad, the price tag is, well, it's almost an afterthought. They're not just buying a house, they're buying into a lifestyle. And these properties are unlike anything else you'll see in the world. You have to see the listings for these places. They literally read like poetry. It's not about the square meters. It's about the art, the history, the incredible craftsmanship. These aren't just homes. They're basically modern-day palaces. And here's another huge driver of value, the history, the sheer historical significance. Buyers are paying this immense premium for properties that are literally part of the country's fabric. Think about it, like this rare building that's preserving Ottoman architecture in the ancient port city of Jaffa. That's not just a home, it's a piece of history.
And then you see a number like this, $210 million for a single private estate in Caesarea. And note, that is not a typo. That's a real asking price. It's just a figure that shows you the incredible scale, the ambition at the very, very top of this market. It's just mind-blowing. Okay, so after hearing all of that, from the frustrating search to those absolutely mind-boggling prices, what if you're still determined? What if you still want to buy a home in Israel? Look, the process can feel really intimidating, for sure, but the good news is it can be broken down into clear, manageable steps.
So if you're seriously thinking about taking the plunge, let's do this. Let's walk through a quick roadmap for how to navigate this uniquely complex market.
Okay, first things first, you have to know your real budget. And by that, I mean you have to factor in all the significant taxes and fees that can really sneak up on you. Next, define your non-negotiables. What do you absolutely need? Then, find a good local agent who can help you cut through all that noise, those out-of-date listings and language barriers we talked about earlier. When you find a place you love, submit your offer, but be ready to negotiate and negotiate hard. And listen, this part is so crucial. You have to hire an independent attorney and an engineer to check everything. Seriously. Only then, once you have the all clear, do you sign and arrange your financing.
So, let's sum this all up. At its core, the Israeli real estate market is just a massive paradox. You've got prices soaring while the number of sales is actually slumping. And what's fueling this whole situation? It's a combination of a chronic housing shortage and this just unyielding demand coming from both locals and a really significant pool of foreign investors who see it as a stable place to park their capital.
And all of that, well, it leaves us with a final multi-million-dollar question, doesn't it? Does this incredible resilience, especially in the face of conflict, make Israeli property a uniquely safe investment haven? Or is a market that so consistently seems to defy gravity actually a fundamentally risky bet? What do you think?